Since I provided a forecast for the Midwest with the enhanced threat area, and the SPC has since upgraded the tornado threat to a hatched 10% area for Western Oklahoma, right in this area. So I already provided the synoptic overview of what's happening in my previous forecast, so I'm just going to dive right into this one. Starting off with the mixed layer CAPE, this is around 4 p.m. Central Time. CAPE values are extremely high in southwest Oklahoma, and so that's going to help drive those updrafts that are needed for convective development. Comparing it to the mid-level lops rates, which are very, very steep, that is another prime indicator for convective and supercell development that could have the potential for tornadoes. Surface winds ahead of the dry line are going to be primarily southerly, and so that's going to help bring in that low level moisture that's needed from the Gulf into western Oklahoma. Comparing those southerly surface winds with the deep layer shear, which is taking the wind vector from the 500 millibar and subtracting it from the surface, we have perpendicular uh, bulk shear, and so that's going to help generate some possible discrete supercells that could have the possibility to generate um, tornadoes. Before I show the significant tornado parameter, I'm going to show you the composite reflectivity that's being displayed from the HRRR. The previous model run at 13Z, this discrete supercell was not here. However, the previous model runs before that, it was showing signs of some sort of development. And the 14Z, which is what I have right now, it is still having that consistent display of a discrete supercell. So now with that model trend, so now with that reflectivity display and the model trend analysis behind us, I'm going to take a look into the significant tornado parameter now. 5.5, 5.2, relatively high STP numbers. Let's take a look here. So PDS tornado, that is the possible hazard type that is indicated with this storm. Um, Definitely something that catches my eye. However, there aren't any sounding analogs, no quality matches for either supercells or significant hail. However, there are still quite a bit of significant hail loose matches, as well as four loose matches for a tornado to occur. So a setup has happened kind of like this before. Um, so that helped me with a good tendency of what could actually happen. So we have those strong southerly winds, and then it becomes more westerly at the mid levels, and then it starts to shift back to a more southwesterly component in the upper atmosphere. So that's something that catches my eye for possible limiting factors for supercell development, but it is still a possibility, especially with having this dry slot right in here to help with mixing between the moisture and the dry air. Along with the tornado possibility is the significant hail possibility too. The SHIP or significant hail parameter 3.7, which is extremely high. Indicators of 2.0 and higher good good numbers to help decide whether or not large hail is going to happen if hail does fall. So 3.7, if hail is able to develop and reach the surface, then it has a really strong possibility to be large to very large hail. With all those factors in mind that I have discussed, taking a look into the SPC's forecast discussion, they do highlight that the tornado threat will maximize between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. before the nocturnal stabilization forces storms to become more elevated. So, pretty much what that means is surface based thunderstorms becoming supercells that have the possibility to drop tornadoes between 7 and 11 p.m. And then after that, nighttime cooling will happen and the lower atmosphere stabilizes, therefore making those surface-based thunderstorms become elevated, getting all their energy from higher up in the atmosphere. So that would dramatically decrease the tornado potential, but the hail threat will remain as those storms move east.